Guys, Erin here, back with another moon update for you. We are having a full moon coming up this Saturday, April 16th at 11:55 a.m. Pacific time. Before I continue, please excuse my funny voice. I have been dealing with a little bit of a head cold for the past few days, but we will carry on. This full moon takes place in the sign of Libra, 26 degrees Libra. So for those of you who are new to my recordings, what this means is this is the peak of the growth cycle for that Libra Luna energy for the year of 2022, or really since it began about 6 months ago when we had a new moon in the sign of Libra. So this is really a time to think about how we've grown in the ways of a Libra over the last 6 months. It's time to honor that growth. So the sign of Libra, this is the cardinal air sign. Cardinal meaning it's got some force. Air mean it is, well, associated with intellect. It's kind of a up in the head type of energy, but it's also ruled by Venus, which is a real softening energy. And it actually has a lot to do with relationships and partnerships. In fact, the sign of Libra really is very much associated with relationships and partnerships. It's represented by the scales to show balance and fairness. This is the sign of harmony. In fact, this is the only sign of the zodiac that is really represented by something that's not a living animal or a living thing. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that Libra represents when the sun is setting, okay? When the sun is, losing its vanish, or it's at its vanishing point for each one of us. And we all know sunsets are absolutely beautiful. Sign of Libra is very much associated with beauty and charm. So how have you grown in these ways? Now, keep in mind that we all experience this full moon in Libra as a collective. However, it's very unique to each and every one of us, depending on where that sign of Libra comes through your natal chart. Where does 26 degrees Libra come through your natal chart? Maybe it's in your house of relationships, and this is definitely the peak of the growth cycle pertaining to your relationships. It doesn't necessarily just have to be romantic relationships. This can be applied to any type of partnership, business partnership, best friend, something like that. Maybe this is in your house of career. That's where it is for me. And I remember, if you go back and look at my new moon in Libra video, I was manifesting to have a little more charm and maybe get a little more dressed up for these videos that I do, because this is my career and my public life. And I really have put a lot of effort into that. For those of you who don't know me personally, you have no idea. When I'm at home, sometimes I will go 3 or 4 days without brushing my hair. Sometimes I will be wearing the same sweatpants for 3 or 4 days in a row. And so this Libra energy really only comes out for me when it involves my career and public life, okay? So for you, maybe it's in your house of self. People who have a Libra rising, these people always look beautiful. They always, they even have a beautiful face. They always want to look nice. They always have this tendency to have like charming mannerisms. So where is this coming into fruition for you in your natal chart? And that's why I offer these moon readings. If you'd like to schedule an astrology reading, please do visit erinwageastrology.com. Okay, so let's go ahead and share the screen and see what else is going on up in the sky for this full moon in Libra. All right, so what we're looking at here is basically a snapshot of the heavens for this full moon. Now, keep in mind, for those of you who know a little bit about astrology, keep in mind that when we're looking at the wheel here, these things might show on a different place in the wheel, depending on where you're at in the world. It's called the house system. And this is based off my location here in California. But, well, for starters, let's start with the moon here. Here's the moon at 26 degrees Libra. No matter where you're at in the world, the moon is going to be at 26 degrees Libra. And just opposite that, the sun is going to be at 26 degrees Aries. This is what happens when we have a full moon. The sun and the moon are exactly opposite each other in the zodiac. This, again, is the peak of that growth cycle. It's almost like the sun and the moon are staring at each other and honoring this growth that we've experienced. Okay, so 26 degrees Libra. First of all, this puts us in something called the third decan of that Libra season, meaning there's actually a little twist of Gemini energy here, which has to do with communication, a little bit of a chatty energy. This can enhance that intellect that will be going on. We may be dealing with a little bit of busy mind energy through this full moon transit, especially because we've got Mercury conjunct Uranus. Now, Mercury rules are like our consciousness. It also has a huge influence on our communication skills, but it really does have a big influence on the mind. And Uranus right here is kind of this like sporadic energy, a little bit unpredictable, kind of electrical energy. Now, these are coming through the sign of Taurus, which Taurus is this very grounded and calm and patient energy. So it's kind of a strange blend of energies going on here, but we can definitely be experiencing a busy mind with this energy. This is also, this Mercury conjunct Uranus also has a lot to do with visionary energy, a lot of even like very, what's the word I'm looking for here? Kind of genius in a sense, but innovative and progressive and futuristic. Okay, so that's going to be going on. Now, something else to mention here, the aspects coming off of this full moon is a very strong T-square with Pluto. Pluto getting close to this anaretic degree here, 28 degrees and 33 minutes for this full moon. Okay, so if you haven't seen anything that I've talked about Pluto going through Capricorn yet in previous videos, what this is the sign of Capricorn really does rule over our authoritarian establishments, government, that sort of thing. And Pluto here is the destroyer, also the empowerer as well. That's what Pluto's job is to destroy, to create a more powerful rebirth in a sense. And not only that, but Pluto reveals secrets. This has a lot. And once this gets into 29 degrees, I'm telling you, next year, this is going to be really, really interesting to see what happens with our authoritarian establishments next year. But this Pluto will reveal secrets. That's another huge part of his job. He reveals ugly, nasty secrets, pulls them up from under the earth, that sort of thing, brings them into, so everybody else can see them. So there may be something going on with power or government that gets revealed in the time around this full moon. That's something to keep in mind. When I talk about a T-square, what I'm talking about is this red triangle. Here's the moon, here's the sun, again, opposite each other. And we can see there's these two red lines. They're 90-degree angles going over to Pluto here. So that's pretty intense. Now, also what we have here, woof, a lot of Pisces energy still going on here. So we do have, well, we just had Neptune and Jupiter exactly conjunct. I mean, they're really still in the same degree for this full moon. And the reason why this is such a big deal, this only happened something like 150 years. I don't remember the exact number, but Jupiter and Neptune are Pisces rulers. They both rule the sign of Pisces. And here they are exactly conjunct in the sign that they rule. Now, Pisces is the sign of mysticism and spirituality. It has a lot to do with everybody having these wild spiritual awakenings right now. Now, this, I keep mentioning this with all this Pisces energy going on. This is a very ideal energy for people to be deluded or easily manipulated. Be very, very mindful of that. Very careful of charlatans. That's kind of the dark side of this energy going on. But the beauty of this is really very, very spiritual. Okay. And not only that, but this is also, there's these really, really nice aspects with this Jupiter and Neptune conjunction over to the nodes. Okay. The north and south node. Basically, in short here, here's the north node. Energy comes in through there and it's making this opportunistic connection with this very spiritual energy of Pisces. And then it's making this very harmonious connection to the south node where energy goes out. So it's like this full moons can also really have a lot to do with things coming to a head. Okay. And it can also have a lot to do with like directly after a full moon, time to kind of let go of things that are not serving us. And these aspects going to these nodes, the north node going through Taurus and the south node going through Scorpio, there is really no better time than to let go of what is not serving your spiritual path here with these aspects going on. We've also got Venus in Pisces. Now, Venus exalts in Pisces. This is where Venus works with her greatest strength. Venus influences love and relationships. And here she is, Libra's ruler. This full moon is in Libra. Libra's ruler, Venus, is in exalted placement in Pisces. So this is absolutely wonderful and lovely. This may be very, very good for some relationships out there, depending on what's going on in your own natal chart. And then we've got Mars here in Pisces too. This is hilarious. So Venus loves being in Pisces because Venus is kind of like the feminine side of relationships, and Pisces is a very feminine energy, very kind of soft and just very feminine, very soft and feminine energy. And Venus loves to come through here. Mars, on the other hand, Mars is the masculine side of relationships. Mars is dominant, and he kind of struggles in that sign of Pisces. Personally, I love this placement. I kid you not, I can sense when somebody's got Mars in Pisces in their natal chart, I can sense it from a mile away. I love it. It's a soft energy, and it's very flowy energy, but Mars doesn't get to be aggressive here. He doesn't get to be as stimulated and ferocious in the sign of Pisces, but this is really good for kind of softening things that are going on, especially with this T-square going on with Pluto between the sun and the moon. So keep that in mind. A lot of Pisces, spiritual, soft energy going on, but there's also some intensities going on with that T-square to Pluto. And then we've got Saturn here still going through Aquarius. Now, something I keep talking about how this is there's no better time for the humanitarian groups to get structured and to make plans and to move forward with things with this Saturn going through Aquarius. But one thing I haven't really mentioned is that this is also another very, very visionary energy. Saturn's job is to build things that last. Amongst other things, Saturn has many jobs, but a big part of what Saturn wants to influence is building structures that last, okay? And that sign of Aquarius is all about new. It's all about revolutionary energy. So this aspect, wow, okay, so Saturn is actually squaring the nodes. So these are actually providing some building blocks for that. Overall, I think this is a pretty good blend of energies for moving forward, letting go of things that are not serving us, because we are literally going into like a new paradigm. It's very, very clear that that we're going into a new way of living here, and everything in this full moon really does support that. But taking a step back and remembering that as individuals, this full moon is really about that peak of the growth cycle for that Libra energy. And it is so beneficial to know where these things come through in your own natal chart so you can apply it to your own life and know where to honor this growth. So let's see here. What else? Libra rules the kidneys. This is definitely not a good time to be putting toxic things into our bodies, because our kidneys are definitely going to be more sensitive during this transit. Libra also rules like the buttocks area. That part might be a little bit more sensitive for people. Just keep that in mind through this full moon transit. And also some stones that resonate well with this Libra energy. The dedicated zodiacal birthstone for Libra is Opal. I'm wearing my black opal here. In fact, black or any opal, it really resonates well with that Libra energy. What I like to do is take out my journal the night before the full moon peaks, and I like to write down what it is that I'm grateful for with the growth pertaining to this full moon. And I will put stones on my journal, put that journal up on the windowsill. So as the moon, transits over that windowsill that night, that vibration, there's this connection being made between the spells that I'm casting in my journal. I'm spelling things out. It's making a harmonious resonance with what's going on up in the heavens, especially with the moon. So obviously not everybody has an opal. There's plenty of other stones that resonate well with this energy. And as usual, I will leave a full extensive list of Libra stones for you guys. But to name a few, one of my very favorites that I've shown a lot here is Kyanite. I love Kyanite because it's so pretty. It's like this super soft baby blue color, but it's also very, very protective. Okay. It's in fact, this stone really doesn't even need to be cleansed. I mean, I like to kind of cleanse mine anyway, every once in a while, but not nearly as much as, say, Rose Quartz. Rose Quartz is another one that resonates well with this Libra energy. This one definitely needs to be cleansed. In fact, we can all put out our stones for this full moon. A full moon is a really good time for cleansing our stones. It's a certain kind of cleansing energy that we get from full moons that goes into our stones. But Rose Quartz is a really, really good one. This is a really good energy for sort of like softening things. If you've ever noticed, a lot of like waiting rooms in hospitals will have a pink tone to them, and that's because it's like a soothing type of energy. So keep that in mind with rose quartz there. And then another one of my favorites, super protective stone that you guys have probably seen plenty of times in my recordings, black tourmaline. This is my absolute #1 top pick for protective stones. I love black tourmaline, and I have a very sensitive constitution. And so I like to use a lot of protective stones, and that's definitely my favorite one. So as again, I will leave that full extensive list of Libra stones. And if you would like to schedule an astrology reading, then please do just go to my website, erinwageastrology.com. If you don't see anything available through my website, then just send me an email because I can be flexible with my business hours. My email is erinwageastrology@gmail.com. And I do hope to hear from some of you. Until next time, namaste to all of you.